Welcome to Small Town Big Business, a podcast about doing big business in small town rural America. We are here at the Citadel in Marion, Illinois, and I am Jennifer Olson, and I'm Director of Business Development for the City of Marion, and I'm here with my co-host.
Yeah, I'm Russell Williams. I'm Director of EThOs. EThOs is a small business incubator. We have co-working spaces, and we do training and development for small businesses and nonprofits to help them start and to help you grow too. And so welcome, glad you are here, and we want to thank our sponsors for producing the Small Town Big Business podcast. And thank you to Arcadia Wealth Group, Black Diamond Harley-Davidson and RV, Fowler Heating and Cooling, the Swinford Media Group, the Watermark Auto Group Foundation, Banterra Bank, and also Southern Illinois Now.
Well, thanks for finding us. And we are on all of the major podcast apps like Podbean, Apple, Spotify, you name it, we are there. Just please don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes. And if you're just really looking for a treat, go back and listen to some old ones. If you know somebody who might like our show, share an episode. And if you want to help us grow, you can rate and review us and just keep the positive momentum going.
We have a special guest today.
Yay!
Someone that's been around EThOs quite a bit. She's done a lot of work here. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, you haven't been on the podcast yet. So we're almost about to record our 100th. So at least you got into the first 100. Excited to have you here.
I'm very thankful to be here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And so we have Beverly Daniels, Taste of Bev.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started Taste of Bev Catering.
Hi, I am Beverly Daniel-Stewart, and I live in Marion. I actually work for the City of Marion, and I've always loved to cook for everyone, you know, whether it was a potluck at work or just an event or family reunion. On the end of COVID, I was doing soul food Sunday meals, and they were like to-go plates, and I based myself, if I sold 10, I was happy. And then I went up to 20. So then I'm like, wow. So one day, my younger son, Darian, he was in between jobs and asked to borrow some money. And I'm like, hey, you're going to have to pay me back. Well, he was borrowing it to get my business started without me not knowing. And A Taste of Bev came from one of my friends that I invited over because I had got this new Blackstone to cook on, you know, when the restaurants and stuff were down. And I was telling her, you know, I was thinking about doing this, and she was like, hey, you should name it A Taste of Bev. So I actually did not name it. She did for me. So I'm very thankful for Christina, and I'm thankful for my son. So that's kind of how it all got started.
Great. When did that happen? What year was that?
Actually around March, I started doing the meals, and we came legit with the savings of me selling the Sunday meals of the purchases in May of 2022, where we got licensed and insured and all of that.
Yeah. You're from Marion, Illinois?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually from Culp. It's not too far from here, but I raised my kids. I came over my senior year of high school.
Okay.
In 91, yes.
And have you worked in a lot of jobs prior to the business?
I've worked a lot of cooking jobs, and then about 27 years ago, I started with the City of Marion.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about what kind of foods you enjoy cooking, your service area, just a little more detail about your business.
Well, I can cook just about anything, but I didn't want to be named as soul food cook. I do like doing comfort foods, so that is, you know, my specialty, like homemade chicken and dumplings, homemade peach cobbler. When peaches is in season, I actually debone the chicken, peel the peaches, and cook it the old school way. But as I get older and, you know, different people have health issues, I try to do healthier options, less sodium, and you know, as my business started to grow, I had to learn how to do vegan and vegetarian meals as well.
Awesome. And how far of an area do you cover?
I have been all the way up to Chicago. It was
Oh,
a family
wow.
member. And then I have a few customers that come through. And I think it's been all the way up to Effingham, towards the north, that I haven't taken. And then all the way down to Paducah.
Wow.
I know. I was like, wow. It just still gives me chills.
So how do people know about you?
I got a lot of people from EThOs, believe it or not. I had called over shortly after I started to SIU just to ask a few questions, and they had already knew about me because of you all.
Oh, wow.
But mainly we do social media, Facebook. I've been starting to do TikTok. I'm kind of old school still. I put things on Instagram and word of mouth and just friends and family, the likes, the shares.
That's great. And you're staying busy.
Yes, very busy. I work full time and I cook now full time.
Oh my goodness. But you got some support. The
Yes,
family
sir.
are still around?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. My family has really teamed up to help me succeed as well as my friends as well, too.
That's excellent. You mentioned you went to SIU for help. What kind of help were you looking for?
Well, I was looking for how to brand my business, whether it was a female business or a minority, because there is grants out there that, you can use to grow your business in your community, and that's what I'm looking for,
So there's kind of some type of accreditation or some type of
Yes,
standard
sir.
that they can help you
Yes.
get that. That's great. It's good to know.
So I just have in my mind how challenging sometimes inventory can be when you're dealing with perishables for creating food. So how did you learn how to manage supplies? And maybe that's not your biggest challenge if you have something else that kind of has been an uphill. Just share with us so people don't think it's just always a walk in the park.
No, ma'am, it's not always a walk in the park. Well, I had to invest in another refrigerator, another
Okay.
freezer. And then when I use the catering kitchens or when I go to events, they have all that. So that is some of the questions before I accept events, to know, where we're going with everything, to make sure, everything is done properly.
That's good.
Let's talk about the business itself and what you've learned about being a business owner. So since you are rather new to owning a small business, what have you learned? What were those things that when you got into this, you did not know that you needed to know?
Well, when I started, I was taking my orders on pen and paper. Even though, we have computers, we have phones, and then the bank we was using was like out of state, so you'd have to take pictures of your checks and upload them. So I ended up having to do research and find out the bank that was good for us, that was local, because I wanted to bring everything back local. I learned the importance of shopping local, and supporting small business, because I had become one, and until then, I was just kind of all over the place, but it means more to me and more doing things in our community because of the support I got and still is getting.
So do you have employees other than yourself?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Mainly it's my son and I. But there was a lady that reached out to me and wanted to have her son do some things for the summer. So this is his second year with us. Now he has his driver's license. His mom comes and helps, but she just wants him to earn, money. So, and then I try to get elderly people that are on fixed incomes, where they can't necessarily go out and do a whole bunch, or maybe just a few hours to help me serve and set up and stuff like that. So I have 2 employees too as well.
That's awesome. So long term, where do you see your growth? Is it multiple jobs at once, a number of employees, a certain dollar amount? Like, what does success look like to Bev?
Well, I'm hemmed up for about 2.5 more years. When I started, I was needed 5 more years to get in before I could retire. But now, thank the Lord, I'm just down to 2.5. I'm striking the calendar off. And then we want not a restaurant, but we want a catering business where the customer or consumer can come in and pick up their items, or we can go deliver it to them, or go set it up and do their event for them.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's excellent. As a person who has ordered food from you, I'm interested in what do people like? I mean, what are some of the specialty items that you make and they're like, that was such a hit, we're going to offer that again and again and again? So that's my first question.
Well, they love the charcuterie because it's a graze and it's a variety of items. I try to do my cheese balls and dips from scratch or semi-homemade. And the other day I got a phone call around Mother's Day, and the lady said, my mom wants your potato salad for a gift.
Yeah.
So that just makes my heart so happy.
Yeah.
So, I get several phone calls from that, especially in peach season. The last 2 years, in assistant living, they buy a couple peach cobblers, and I donate a couple for their birthday celebration during peach season.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting on them to call now because peaches are in.
Yeah. And how far out do you tend to get booked? Because I know that we've tried to get you in a certain time and it had not going to work.
Well, currently I'm booked out about 6 months.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I'm like, it still gives me chills.
Yeah.
It really does. But I do try to squeeze the small ones in.
Yeah.
But I'm booked out because I still work full time. So from 6 to 9 p.m. and the weekends is mainly our schedule.
Yeah. You mentioned out in the hallway beforehand that you had one where you didn't know you were supposed to serve, right? And then, so are those things still coming up all the time?
Yes, and they ended up going in and helping me serve, and the kids were so patient and very thankful and grateful. I didn't know. I thought it was going to be a drop-off, so I didn't bring servingware. I didn't bring anybody to help, or I didn't even have it set up. I literally thought it was a drop-off. Yeah. But the kids were really receptive and very thankful. And the workers helped me serve. We had tablespoons. We were dipping their food up, pulled pork and baked beans. And the kids, you could tell they wanted to hug me, but they ran up and froze and was like, ma'am, your food was really good.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh my gosh, I love that you said it still gives you chills, because I think gratitude goes a long way to contributing, your ability to find joy and sustain yourself.
Yes, it's a ministry. It really is, because, I don't measure. I don't really go by recipes. I'll look at them, but I always have extra food, so I take it like to the homeless shelter, or I might, if it's not been open, donate it to the police station. And then I might even pack them up to do like meals for seniors that can't really get out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, you always prepare more than enough. We've never run out of food here or any occasion that we've brought you in. If we said there's going to be 50 people, I think there's food for 100.
Yes.
You're great that way. But values, you kind of mentioned your own belief. What kind of values do you want your customers to walk away with that you want to communicate maybe through your business?
Yes. Well, I just want them to know that they are valued, and I appreciate them because they could use someone else, but they chose me. Mm-hmm. So each event, whether it's big or small or a tray of food, I want them to know I put my all in it in my heart.
That's great.
And it was cooked with love.
Yeah, that's great.
So I feel like that's a little bit of what and why, but who inspires you? Do you have people that you've looked up to or do look up to?
That was always something that I loved, getting together, for Easter, church events. And I always seen the seniors, back then they had their little usher suits on and they rushed to the kitchen, or, they had that pot of greens cooking, the day before to have it for the function at church. So that's kind of where I got my love at, just seeing how that brought people together, in a positive aspect.
It's interesting. It is hard to think of a real special time that doesn't involve food or center around food.
And I've been getting a lot of repast dinners, funeral dinners and stuff. And even though it's a sad situation, I know my food comforts them, so that makes me happy.
That's good.
Well, and I know, like, in my mom's church, people that are unrelated to the person who has passed are bringing casserole because a lot of people don't have that family or their family doesn't even know how to cook anymore.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, you know, whether it's hired out or whether it's, you know, donated, I think it is such a service to a family at a challenging time. So.
Yes, I totally agree. It is a service.
Yeah. Well, we made it sound like this is a really fun business, but it's food service, and it's one of the toughest businesses to be in. So can you tell us about an occasion where you were like, I don't know if I'm going to do this another time?
Well, actually, my success was not overnight. I had started it before, and it didn't go well. But, you know, I didn't give up, you know, and even if the first time, you know, you try to jump out there and have it and it dissolves, try it again. If you love it and find something that works for you. And I just love it. It's not a job, you know.
Yeah.
So it sounds like I kind of like that story that it started and then you gave it another shot. But are there other things that you would tell your younger self if you could go back in time?
Yes, I should have done everything the right way. I never knew about EThOs. Somebody brought me up here. I passed by here for 2 years, and I'd see the word, and actually I didn't even know how to pronounce it, to be honest.
Yeah, we got a good one like that.
To be honest, you know, and don't be afraid to ask questions, you know, and I think I shied away from that and then just trying to figure it out on my own, and I don't know everything. I'm still learning every day, and I really wish I would have found the incubator soon, but I'm thankful that, you know, I have you guys. I didn't know anything about a bio. I emailed Tara through EThOs.
Our program coordinator,
yes. And she immediately, you know, responded back. Just don't be afraid to ask for help.
That's good. Yeah, Tara's great at that way. She'll help walk through those things. She'll come to me and I'll ask, and she'll ask me, like, what do we do? And I'm like, okay, just stay beside the person and ask them, help them out. And we don't have all the answers.
Yes, and you guys followed through to make sure we were satisfied and make sure you did your part, and that is very important.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's very rewarding that we have something like this in our community.
Yeah. Well, we can't say that we have favorites, but I'll admit we have a list of favorites.
Yes.
we have several that we like to use and love to put more people on that list, but you're one of them.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely. So we don't always highlight Marion, Illinois. In this occasion, it's where you work, but we do highlight small towns. So tell us about a business in small towns. What difference do you think that makes for you and your success for your business being in kind of a rural small town?
Everybody just about knows everybody, whether they went to school or work with you. And I really believe that is what helped. And my husband always says, if you want a supporter or a friend, you have to be one.
Yeah.
So, and I always try to support small businesses, whether it's going to the farmer's market, going to the coffee shop over here, supporting the vault. Even though I do food, you'll see me all the time, you know, going to get something or finding a favorite of a restaurant. Yeah. And, you know, all the coffee places know me by my first name.
Well, I know you have cheerleaders in this community.
Yes.
A couple, Daryl and Joni Ross,
yes,
are a couple that I know. When I see them, they're like, when's Bev going to be back up here?
Yes.
Where's Bev going to serve? And they're trying to get you, you know, in the beginning, I think they were trying to get you work.
Yes. They have, I actually do little mini sandwiches for her funeral home when, you know, they have family in. I've done that also for Wilson's. Not only just a meal, but just something so they can have while they wait on people to come through the line of view.
So one of the things that I think is magic about EThOs or any kind of incubator and co-working is it doesn't always have to be top-down training. A lot of things happen among peer-to-peer So is there anybody or anything that you've learned from others that work here or other people in the community that you would want to mention?
Yes. It's a long list, but it starts really, when I started at the water department, getting the work orders out and taking the money and just the forms of payment, whether you're going to your bank to deposit your paycheck or, going to pay a bill, and it all, coincides together.
Everything builds.
Yes, ma'am. Because now I have a site where I have to print out my orders, and I call them my work orders because that's what I did, when I worked at the water department, and then you have the financial side, and then you have to set your schedule up. And I didn't realize it was all that. My love was just cooking, and that's all I wanted to do.
There's a lot of cogs to make
ma'am.
the bigger machine work.
Yes. And that's one reason why I'm glad we have EThOs. Like if I need to use this office space or, get on board. And a lot of people don't know it's a free membership for a certain level, and I think that's what detours people because they don't know. And, if you're interested in having a business, come see these guys. They're awesome.
That's awesome. And I'm sure the city of Marion has helped you
Yes,
too. And
yes.
I'm glad to hear that in your future you'd like to have a little storefront for people to pick up.
Yes.
So Jennifer will take you on a tour this afternoon and show you some empty spaces.
Where do you want to be?
Yes.
But seriously, I love the idea of some grab and go, whether it's people who need to take a dish somewhere, or honestly, I'm an empty nester now, but there were a lot of times when after a long day of work, if I could have picked up a casserole, it would have been
Yes.
amazing.
Yes, I also offer whenever I have time to do it. It's take and bakes.
Okay.
Basically, it's a meal, and you can take it home and cook it in 30 minutes or less. It's lasagna, chicken and dumplings, baked ziti, homemade chicken pot pie, and you know what's in it. It's all has no preservatives and stuff like that in it. But I've been so busy, I've not been able to do that lately.
Yeah. And that's the tough part about being business owners. When you do get busy, it's hard to step out of that and look back at the business and decide what is good and what needs to pass. And
Yes,
all that kind of stuff.
I had came up with that in the freezer meals just for people like the working people with families or just, don't want to go to the restaurant. And that way they can have a healthy option and a home cooked meal themselves.
Yeah. Because you are so busy, what have you learned about taking time off?
Yes, I'm still learning that. Yes, I have to block off time. We are planning on doing vacations soon with our grandkids. But yes, I got so busy and didn't even realize, I didn't have time for myself or my family.
Yeah. Well, you came on a leadership retreat with us, right?
Yes, that was awesome.
We were at the lake and we talked. That's one of the things we talked about.
Yes.
Was like make sure you block off that time.
I still write in my book.
That's good.
I need a new one.
That's awesome. I'll get you a new one. That's awesome. Well, you mentioned your son. I don't know. Did you say his name?
Darian.
And do you have other names that you need to shout out to? That
I want to thank God. I just want to thank Him for my challenges. Just for everything. And really and truly, I pray before every event and after that, I'm grateful for it and I'm thankful, it was able to be completed.
That's great.
That's awesome. I want to make sure we don't cut you off prematurely. Is there anything that we didn't ask or anything that you're like, I want to make sure I get this in?
Well, I'm up to 2K followers. I would like to get up to 3K.
I love it. Honestly,
Yes.
I mean, there's so many times we will ask how people can do business with you, but also like how can we support and help you? And I mean, reviews matter.
Yes, ma'am.
Followers matter.
Yes.
It doesn't seem like a big thing because somebody's not pulling a wallet out, but it does make a difference.
That
so
makes a
tell
difference.
us,
like, share, and follow. I have a website, atasteofbev.service, and then I have a Taste of Bev. It's all one word for my Facebook page.
Awesome. Good.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And to the formal ask of how do people do business with you, even if they have to wait?
Yes, just get on the list. Hopefully in 2.5 years, I'll be able to accommodate everybody,
That's great.
or, at least they can at least have a sample of something.
Yeah. Taste of Bev, are they looking at a website or a Facebook page? How do they contact you?
Both. They can text, call, get on the website at tasteofbev.service, and I also accept them on Messenger too.
Yeah. That's a lot.
That's a lot of channels to manage and not miss anything.
Well,
Holy
my
cow.
son, he manages it for me,
good.
so a lot of it.
So we want to thank our guest, Beverly Daniel-Stewart from Taste of Bev, for joining us today. It's been great to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yep.
Thank
And-
you. It feels a little overdue, but we're glad to have you finally.
I was like, whoa!
And thank you for listening and watching, being part of our small town big business community. And thank you to our sponsors for supporting us. Again, thank you to Arcadia Wealth Group, Black Diamond Harley Davidson and RV, Fowler Heating and Cooling, Swinford Media Group, Watermark Auto Group Foundation, Banterra Bank, and Southern Illinois Now. Also want to thank the Union Street Arts, our producers, and Luke O'Neill. Thank you for your great recording and producing this podcast for 3 years now. We're almost at our 100th episode. And so if you want to know more about EThOs, as I said, small business incubator, co-working spaces, training and development for small businesses, you can contact me. I'm Russell Williams. I'm director of EThOs, and my email is russell@watermarkethos.org, or you can find us at our website, ethosmarion.org.
Thank you so much for finding us, and I hope that you've subscribed by now so you don't miss episodes. Please share it. There's so many times that we interview somebody and Russ and I feel like we kind of know the person, and we always find some nugget of wisdom, or we're always surprised by something. So please share this and inspire others to get off the start and get their business up and running. I'm Jennifer Olson. I'm Director of Business Development for the City of Marion. You can find me on Tower Square Plaza at City Hall, and my contact information is out on LinkedIn. Thanks for watching.